Folks, it is cash game week, the most important week of the year. You have to think straight. You have to play the best plays. You have to beat the ETR optimal. And you certainly can't say shit like Drake London is just Michael Pittman Jr. with a publicist. It's cash game week. It's short king summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's short king summer. All right, boys, we're here. It's, basically people spend the entirety of the NFL season kind of waiting for this day. The day is finally upon us. And the way that it was celebrated was, Peter won the double doink. And, some people say that really is kind of the flagship contest of week 18, Peter. That's kind of what they say.
Yeah, no, I know typically you guys talk about DraftKings cash games, but I'm kind of like a Renaissance man of all things cash. I was in the underdog streets. We did have the Deposit Kingdom double doink. I maxed it 135 entries. If you would have had 135, you could have gotten first place for $10 too. It is what it is. Jordan shrug. I don't know what to say.
Look, we added Peter into our group chat this week, so he got to kind of see the sausage get made. That's going to come back a little bit later when we look at the lineups, because I think just your mere presence made me more of a slappy. Like just you being around, just kind of not only saying it's your fault, not even calling you a slappy, but you bring out my slappy impulses.
I was shocked how quickly it seemed like you had no clue what you were submitting today. Like when we were chatting 30 minutes before lock and you're like, oh, you're playing Jason? That sounds cool. I'll do that.
Pete, you were shocked? That's every week. That is legitimately every week.
Get the elephant out of the room. My dog died this morning. I'm literally, and we don't have to do this whole bit right now, but I will say this. I definitely was running behind this morning. I did not max the main BR. And I really didn't know what I was playing. The lineup that I had saved, this is very funny, Sammy. The lineup that I had saved when I finally opened it up this morning had Jordan Whittington in it. I'd had Jordan Whittington since like Tuesday in my shell. You're either muted or your mic is messed up. But Peter, the thing I didn't want to do was I did not want to fall victim to the Jacoby Myers industrial complex. I mean, I just like this guy. I can't ever win with this guy one way or the other. So I just passed.
I will say, I know you said you didn't want to do this, but sincerest condolences about your dog. And it was terrible. Emotional whiplash for me to be in a group chat with you, just shit posting about cash game week. And then on the timeline, you're like, I had to put down my dog today. You're like, Jason and Cash, let's fucking go. I'm like, what is going on?
You have to compartmentalize things.
There's only one way out of grief, and that is to smash in 4 receptions for 9 yards and a little gadget equity with 1 rush. It was, a big day for JSN and Davis.
Pete, I feel even worse. I'm sitting here. I didn't know this until just now. I haven't been on Twitter all day. I'm putting Davis down, making him feel like an idiot while.
Well, thank God. I mean, can you guys imagine if I would have finished last in the 4-man?
Yeah, we would have had to put you down afterwards.
Things could have got pretty dark. Does anyone? I assume Levitan played the same thing as me. Levitan, Peter.
Why do you assume that?
Because it was the team.
Actually, let me go look, because he was in my mentions at one point. He finally addressed the Cash Game King halfway through the slate after 6 days of radio silence.
Adam Levitan hates the Cash Game King bit. I don't know why he hates it so much, but he is just like I just get the sense that he absolutely. Why
would that be? Why would he hate it?
Because Levitan does a lot of bits about himself, but if anybody else does the bit about his lifestyle, his chosen vocation at grind cash games, man, it is a slap in the face by Peter Overzet.
Oh, Levitan sharped it. Gotta be honest.
Jacoby Myers?
No, he played Pittman.
Oh, that's sharp. I mean, Downs was the real play.
Downs was the play.
Mentally
real
strong
ball knowers
play.
played Downs.
Yeah.
Real ball knowers played Downs. That's true. All right, let's go ahead and get to the teams here. All right. who do we start with? I guess Peter, you're the guest of honor. Why don't you, just kind of address the allegations that you finished below the cash line in the $25 double up?
It is, this. So let you guys have audio listeners. I don't know if you actually know that. You do have to sometimes read stuff off for people. Josh Dobbs, Bijan Robinson, Bucky Irving, Brian Thomas Jr., Josh Downs, Austin Hooper, Michael Carter Jr., Broncos defense, and Drake London, I think. No, it's actually JSN was my final wide receiver there. And obviously that was bad. It was very bad. I thought I played well outside of that. But I kind of waved the boosting of Drake London kind of late with the Mooney stuff. I thought it was maybe a little bit of double counting. That was wrong. It was an incredible spot for him, and I played bad not playing Drake London.
Okay, Peter, it probably was double counting to be like, oh, Mooney's out. Now London is a super smash. But the thing is that London was already a good play before.
Yeah.
Like you could have kept his projection the same, and he still probably would have hit the shell.
This is why I don't have a leg to stand on, because my party line was Drake London and JSN did not separate meaningfully from the 5K guys, specifically Josh Downs and Jacoby Myers. That was part of why I felt the need. But then I found the need to get up to JSN, but not to Drake London. It blew my entire argument out of the water.
Man,
Davis, I don't know what this like pussyfooting around this situation is, but like it was awful to not play Drake London. Drake London legitimately in week 18 led the entire season in Whopper. He led the entire season.
Whopper. He did Whopper. Peter came on the show and he hit you with the Whopper.
You literally faded 258 air yards and a 47% target share. This dude legitimately has the highest expected DraftKings points of the whole season.
He ran so bad. He ran so bad.
And said, nah, wave.
I ran into the one Drake London ceiling game of the year. The 1 week that Drake London was able to eclipse 16.4 points.
Who could have predicted, by the way, that now this is statistically true, the worst defense in the history of the NFL, the most points allowed in one season? Who could have predicted that Drake London's ceiling game would have came against the worst defense
in the
of
dome?
All time? In the dome. Didn't Cardi tell you?
And Pete, this is honestly like, breaking your cherry into the real streets of the cash games, because me and Davis and Nate, we've been through Will Fuller week, right? We've been through Christian Kirk week.
Kirk, that was the worst. Christian Kirk week, the week we all faded Christian Kirk. That I'll never forget it. That was the worst.
He dropped like a 47 burger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like sometimes you do everything right and you get your solid lineup and this and that, and one guy just like
ruins
his ass.
If we're gonna start dunking,
he was only 25% up. He wasn't like the week we faded Christian Kirk. He was like 50% up.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't get buried across my head-to-heads, because he wasn't as widely owned as you guys are making.
Pete, do the thing that's going to make people mad. The big one's asking, how did you do in profit, Pete? Tell the people. Do the thing that's going to make them mad.
Every single year, I probably make one decent mistake in my lineup and still win, because my action is just so good. So I was in for 38. I have multiple ones off-site as well, but I was in for 38 and won 42, 4.2K. So
anyone the double dink,
and I won the double doink.
That ROI. And Pete, to be fair, Nate makes an egregious mistake every week,
and he never loses.
Yeah, it's insane.
The guy's just like Chase Brown. Nah. Oh, actually, you know what? The Drake London thing, Peter, I think it can go really one way or the other. Like, obviously, I think he was a good play, but just deciding that you had to make significant concessions in your lineup to jam Austin Hooper instead of Peyton Hendershot.
We need to talk about this.
I'm not taking this out. I'm not. Peyton Hendershot was bad, and you didn't need to play him this week to build a good lineup.
Why'd you need to play Austin Hooper?
Because first of all, I ran horrible on Austin Hooper. Milton. Okay, Nate will actually back me up on this, because Nate's a ball knower. Austin Hooper has been a big part of the Patriots offense all year. And then his projection shouldn't have
changed.
If he's been
a big part of the offense, then it shouldn't matter.
What do you mean? Of course it matters. We just talked about a boost for Drake London because Mooney was out. He's been in a
I'm saying that's a fake boost.
No, it's not a fake boost. It's a meaningful boost to not be splitting time with Hunter Henry. And then they fucking say Milton is going to be the quarterback at the last second.
Milton, by the way, was awesome in that game.
But he had eyes for Boutte. He loved the Boutte. Do you know what's so funny about
Davis
should have played Boutte.
Pete's on the sharp side of this. On the sharp side of this. Hooper was the play at tight end. Hooper was a much better play than Hendershot for very little dollars more. He had like five more expected DraftKings points. If you look at all the high stakes, he was.
This is so not convincing to me because it's not about Hooper. It's about that he used the salary to play Jackson Smith and Jigba.
That's not what
it's not about players, Nate. It's about building lineups.
It's not about players. It's more about lineups. I don't know if you've heard.
Hooper was not a bad play. Hooper was a good.
If I wanted to play Drake London, I would have just gone down at defense. I looked at lineups with Texans defense, with Giants defense. That was not what kept me from playing Drake London. The Hendershot thing I was never going to do. The funny thing is my shell for most of the week had Ferguson. And then they go to Trey Lance, and I was like, I'm not fucking doing this Ferguson thing. Holy shit, Hooper opens up, which was the Ferguson play, but even better. But I thought it was going to be Drake May, and then they pulled the rug at the last second.
Yeah, Hooper was fine. Honestly, Hendershot was bad. Hendershot was very bad. I knew it was bad. Everyone knew it was bad. If you played Hendershot, you should feel bad.
Correct.
I told you that too.
I don't feel even 1% bad about Peyton Hendershot. It's classic week 18 shit right there.
But you've been playing guys like Hendershot all year. You've been playing 17 weeks of guys like Hendershot hoping to suck out. It's not good process. Like
that sounds like a guy who watched Max Payne Durham score another touchdown today. Is what that sounds like. That sounds like another guy who watched Payne Durham just continue to annihilate.
Davis, you outscored me by 15 points and had a Drake London score in your lineup where he scored more than 23 points.
We will get to what I did that was terribly bad. We will get to what I did because what I did, we could just do it. We could just do it right now. This is perhaps the most 62 IQ 2v2 of all time in my lineup. For the audio listeners, I played Joshua Dobbs, Bijan Robinson, Bucky Irving, Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Peyton Hendershot, and Michael Carter in the Arizona Cardinals defense. I don't think I could conceive of a dumber, more fear-based play than playing Jackson Smith and Jigba over Jacoby Myers. I really think that that's one of the dumbest things I've ever done. It's not like they weren't close in projection. Jacoby Myers just like smashes every game with AOC. The second JSN locks in your lineup in any kind of daily fantasy sports contest, you immediately regret it. And you want to know another thing that makes it even dumber, Peter? Another thing that makes it dumber. This is Tyler Lockett's final game. He wore his retirement cleats today.
Tyler Lockett had one catch.
Just very easy to see him
Davis,
play more.
There is audio of you on the Gillcast literally 2 to 3 weeks ago being like, never again Jacoby Myers. We fucking know who this loser is. He has no ceiling. We've done it a million times. You can't just be fucking pivoting. Some people remember, and every once in a while, once a year, someone comes on this show who will actually hold your feet to the fire for a take you made 3 weeks ago, which you did on Jacoby Myers.
But this is what I do, because every Sunday at 10 a.m. I say I won't play Jacoby Myers, then I play him, and I hate it. I can't win for losing with this guy. Whatever I do with Jacoby Myers is wrong. I don't play him 25 burger locked in. I play him and he's just sitting in the cuck chair watching Brock Bowers do his thing. Let
me tell you, watching Jacoby Myers with a touchdown and the bonus in the third quarter and Brock Bowers eating a straight up goose burger, man, I was steaming, bro.
Did JSN have his retirement cleats on?
He's going to become a realtor. Do you know the moment that I fully regretted the JSN thing? Because you always hold a little hope. You're like, something could break right in the second half.
I know the moment.
It was the moment that they had one wide receiver out of the field in the goal line and threw a fade to Jake Bobo. And that's when I said, all right, not going to be JSN's day.
Yeah.
It's Q1, first touchdown.
And honestly, Downs was better. Pittman Jr. was better. The lineup that I actually had in, which I think maybe even, it would have beat this, but not by much. The lineup I had in when I switched to JSN was I had Downs, and the Packers defense, which I think is also what Nate had for that 2v2. That was what I had. And then I had the psychic damage from
my
Downs.
team. Yeah, that's fully my team.
There you go. So I had Nate duped, and then I said, you know what? It's cash game week. Peter's playing JSN. Peter said we're IKB in the ETR optimal. And I said, all right, we ride Slappy Nation. The S in JSN stands for Slappy. Jackson Slappy.
Did you guys see the Cardi optimal was double Raiders, double Colts wide receivers? It was Bowers, Myers, Pittman, and Downs. Yeah.
Didn't you have to jam in CEH to do that?
there was some gross in there. Yeah. CEH was like his third highest points per dollar play at running back. I think he had Bucky, Bijan, and then CEH at lock.
This is what I get for Cardi optimal. I get Dobbs, Carter, Bucky, Pittman, Downs.
That's
Brian
what I
Thomas
just said.
Jr. Yeah.
Pittman, Downs, Bowers, Myers.
That team would have smashed, right? No London. No London. So no, it would not.
No London, no money.
That Broncos D. That team might have been okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I can't. I'm not gonna do the math on top of my head. The Hendershot thing. I mean, look, guys.
Dude, he was live for a stone zero. I guess so was Brock Bowers. But
so Brock Bowers was live for a stone zero for a while. Like, look, oh yeah, okay. That team had no Bijan. It was dead. No Bijan. Sorry, you were donating.
Yeah, two Colts and 2 Raiders, but not 2 Falcons. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
All right, let's see Sammy.
In the dome, that's weird. Cardi's brand.
Tell the people what you got here.
All right.
Wow. I actually had to look at this all day. I literally didn't even look at your lineup.
It's really something. It's really something. The Jets defense.
You mentioned Whittington in the group chat. I'm like, why do you care about that? I hadn't even looked at your lineup. You're like, Whittington hitting the 100-yard bonus. I'm like, no one actually played him. Are you just
hey buddy, what was Whittington owned in the $25 double up? You got that information handy?
There's just no way. I don't even know. You'll have to look it up. I can't deal with it right now. So I played Dobbs. Everybody played Dobbs. Just like all of us, I played Bijan, Bucky, and Michael Carter at running back. So really the question was, what are you going to do with your 3 receivers and your tight end? And I was so moved and compelled by Nate's soliloquy last week about how elite tight ends can separate. And I was like, I'm playing Brock Bowers, like absolutely. And him and McBride both like projected so similarly, but I was like, oh, McBride's allergic to the end zone, and then B, Brock Bowers is like all-time rookie records, like they're just gonna want to extend this. Like Brock Bowers is just a man. McBride's very good, but Brock Bowers
did he slip, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man?
Yeah,
I think Brock Bowers just a grown man.
Yeah. So I went with Brock Bowers, and that meant that I could not pay up at the high end for BTJ or Mike Evans. And so I threw caution to the wind, and I played wide receiver 1 Drake London, Smashola. I played Jackson Smith and Jigba. Doesn't feel great. And then I made the all-time IKB play of the slate. I played Rams wide receiver 4 Jordan Whittington.
How did I lose to this team?
I mean, so here's the thing. You can look at your projections and be like, well, Whittington, wide receiver 4, he doesn't project that well. But you have to understand that the projections don't account for gadget equity. And so Jordan Whittington, I will have you guys know, had 2 rushes in this game for 12 yards. He was the Rams' second leading rusher.
The classic freeze in the middle of explaining the gadget floor.
Sorry, he was the Rams' second leading rusher, both by attempts and yardage. He came up a mere 14 yards short of the bonus. Jordan Whittington was just an all-time IKB play, and that's what made me feel good about getting what I thought was 2 wide receiver 1s for lower price, JSN and Drake London. And just needed Whittington to get a little bit, and he did. Oh, and I also played the Jets defense, and everybody was so glued on, I got to play the the Broncos or, whoever it was. And it was like, dude, the Jets are like at home against Tyler Huntley. No Tyreek Hill. Like, what are the Dolphins going to do? And what they did is turn the ball over 4 times. Easy game, 13 points for the Jets. They had 2 picks, 2 fumble recoveries, and 4 sacks. Like, just a ball-knowing play. Gotta hand it to myself. So good for me.
Fading both Mike Evans and BTJ, man. Nate, tell him that's bad.
I can't hate on this team.
I honestly, I'm looking
Sammy.
at it. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well,
no,
actually,
I will absolutely.
It's a good team.
Got absolutely bailed out by Drake London.
No, he did not. No, he did not. This is a good team. This is an actual good cash.
You're just trying to save face on your Bowers.
Nate's trying to make sure that I don't roast him when it comes to he's trying to gain equity with me.
So hard at the end on that touchdown. We would be dunking on
Bowers
Sammy
did not
right
luck
now.
out. Bowers had 18.9 expected DraftKings points. 18.9. Do you realize that Peyton Hendershot had 3 expected DraftKings points?
Peyton Hendershot was the worst play of the slate. Okay.
Yes.
I was never playing Peyton Hendershot, like not a snowball's chance in hell. Worst play of the slate.
So Sammy, that's what you did. You got 15 points of expected production leverage at a position. That doesn't happen. There is no way to do that at the wide receiver position. There is no way to do that at the running back position.
When you play Drake London, there is.
Nate, I agree. I agree with you. You have turned me. You have turned me. And so that's why when we get to your lineup, buddy, you have some explaining to do to the people.
You are going to have some coming clean to the people to do.
Yeah. I like this team, Sammy. I like this team. I think Whittington.
That I did not expect.
Whittington is actually like a sharp week 18. The potential upside volume that he could have ran into was there, and there's nobody else at 3K that has that potential volume upside. So I actually do think Whittington is a.
Yeah, I considered Curtis Samuel, who ended up with 8 targets, 7 catches. He ended up being pretty good. Whittington is like, dude, he's young. He's a sick yards per route run guy. He's shown some real flashes this year, and I really thought this might be a moment for him. It was almost a moment. It was close, but he did enough.
That guy said that comment to me when he sent over a 4-man, and I'm starting to think he's being serious.
Maybe he did. I don't know. You never know. You never know what's going on. Yes. Yeah, it is. This is bad. Also, if this
no, not the Jennings. Get the fuck out of here with this stacking Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, Jennings. You guys all need
you
to
lose
grow
all credibility if you try to lump Jennings into that.
Yeah.
Well,
Juwan Jennings was a good tournament play, but definitely he was. Well, and I think he was too chalked.
Didn't Jennings have 10 targets before he got ejected from the game?
Jennings was fine.
He was worse than Myers, Downs, and Pittman, though.
He was worse than Myers, but at his price, I don't think he was worse than Jason.
All those guys were flat, and to break ties to the stack in cash is bad. I mean, like, you sink your entire lineup if Dobbs has a bad game.
If Dobbs has a bad game, you're not getting there anyway. And so
the whole field's going to have Dobbs.
Yeah, the whole field has Dobbs.
You're sinking another part of your lineup that is going to be unique to everyone who has Dobbs.
I actually don't hate correlation like that in cash games in the way that it's played in today's day and age. I actually do think you need to have upside, and correlation helps with that. You're not going to beat 50% of the field these days if you don't have some type of upside factored into your cash games.
You're looking at a guy who didn't have any upside in his lineup. So shove that in your Whopper. And
I also think we're being a little too hard on JSN. Like, dude, JSN came into this game with 96 receptions for 1,121 yards. Like,
JSN has only ever let me down. There's never been one time where I've needed JSN in the afternoon window, and JSN has been like, dude, I got you. 6 for 96 and a tud. Not once, not now, not ever, dude. My personal experience with JSN is him always being like, dude, I fucking hope you like 4 for 36. That's what's coming.
Sammy's trying to list off stats, and David is like, he's always wronged me.
you know that the last time they played the Rams, JSN went went 7 for 180 and 2 touchdowns.
I remember I won $20,000 from that game. So I do maybe think about JSN differently than Davis.
Yeah, Davis might be confusing Jacoby Myers and JSN. JSN has like been incredible.
No, these are
Whopper.
These are
Whopper. What's his Whopper, Ben? Nate?
Well, this week it wasn't there, Pete. Hate to break it to you. He was below Tyler Lockett. So
what was
well, if you count the lateral, Nate, and give him those expected points, does that count at all? No,
that was not factored in.
Brian by the way, it didn't end up mattering because we played Drake London, but Brian Thomas Jr. being tackled on the inside the 3-yard line 3 separate times.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna win when this happened. I faded BTJ and like they just couldn't get him the long touchdown that he so richly
BTJ could have had 202. Like
100%. Yeah, he could have dunked on Drake London.
Yeah.
Because none of us played Evans, right?
None of us played Evans,
yeah,
which was shocking.
This is
I
real
thought that was
maturity.
a big decision point, but I liked BTJ over Evans. I was like, I just don't think I can get there for the 700 more.
Yeah, this was real maturity, I think. I mean, just real maturity, not being like, oh yeah, the incentives and blah 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 blah. We've been through all this. We are grizzled veteran cash gamers.
Where did you guys stand on them showing Mike Evans like biting his fingernails on the sideline? Like, am I going to get a chance to get this 5 yards? Am I going to get a chance to get this 5 yards? And then them coming in and running a play for him to get 5 yards.
That was awesome.
It was great.
I
agree.
Awesome. Anybody who's complaining about that needs to literally like get outside. That was awesome.
People are complaining about that?
Yes, there were legitimate people that were like, this isn't in the spirit of the game. And no. Get outside. Like,
buddy.
That was one of the coolest moments that happened in the entire day. And 100%. It's like, I lost money on that. I faded Mike Evans, but that was an awesome moment to watch his teammates and everybody that was very clearly like, hey, we're a part of history. This is Jerry Rice's record. Like, that was a cool moment. Who cares of like how they had to do it? It was
Peter. I will give you one guess for someone in the Peter Overzet extended universe. I'll give you one guess for the person in the Peter Overzet extended universe who
don't look at the chat because you're cheating.
I haven't seen a comment. I'll show. I have the private chat up.
Okay, who said that? It basically like it was a dumb move. You
does it rhyme with Schmanthony Schmamiko?
No, Amico was
I bet he would have.
No, Amico was
the
pro.
Coach, bro.
Amico's a coach.
Okay, yeah.
He's pro. He's pro on
coach.
that.
Yeah.
Who would who's pissing in the Cheerios?
He didn't say like
think of best ball.
They are an underdog influencer.
They were an underdog. That narrows it down to literally everyone on the internet. Can you give me a better clue?
obviously, it was Jack.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say
on.
Liam. I thought you were going to say Liam, Davis, because Liam was complaining about
Jack said the move is super respectable, but that showed they don't think they have any chance at the Super Bowl. That was Jack's read. To get Mike Evans.
How about to give the people a little bit of fun? I quickly screen share the lineup Jack played against me in cash.
we can go for one more roast.
There you go, Davis. I put it in the hopper. All right. Jack settled him. He scored 127 points. Played Garrett Wilson and Roma Dunze.
Did he forget to upload his CSV? What happened?
The funny thing is like a lot of it seems logical. He has Dobbs, he has Carter, he has Bucky. He doesn't play Bijan, doesn't play Drake London, and somehow finds the 6,000 for Garrett Wilson and then Roma Dunze. 2 plays I did not hear talked about in any context for week 18.
Did some people? I think I know what happened. I think it's the same thing that must have happened with Cardi. They must have had like an import issue and didn't import the Atlanta game. Like. I mean, literally, how could you not have both Bijan and Drake?
You think Jack is importing Cardi projections?
I mean, they must have just like left off the Atlanta game. I don't understand how you couldn't have both of those guys.
Do you not know who Jack is? He absolutely built this with his 2 thumbs and his balls 10 minutes before log. There was no CSVs involved.
And really, if you think about it, it's a flex. It's honestly, it's a flex from Jack to be like, I'm actually doing so well financially in my life that I can play Roma Dunze in the flex against Peter, and it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, that I can not play a late guy in the flex because I have no intention of swapping because this team is so good.
Oh, how honestly, how disappointing is it for all of us that there was no opportunities for swaps today? Just no thinking about swaps.
Just for
no-
you, bro.
I did do one swap because I had with Dan from the Discord. I had a offsite head to head with him, and he had London, and it was we were playing for 500, and so I had to swap on that one. So I did do a little swap there.
Well, Pete, does that mean that you actually lost overall?
No, because I had other offsite ones there that I did well on. But yeah.
All right.
having to play offsite because the great state of Massachusetts wouldn't let you put more money in.
Did you hear what my workaround was? How I got money on my site?
Yeah. Oh, you had to deposit to the sports book?
No, I played a little head to head against our friend Nez in hoops on Thursday night. And
then you Venmo'd him.
Yeah, and that's a
good workaround.
It was.
So I've been playing DFS for so long that you used to not be able to just cash your crowns out for money. Like this is like 8-9 years ago, and I cashed out my crowns, like $1,000 of crowns, to a buddy like in college.
Davis used to treat his crowns like a savings account.
Yeah,
he would just keep them growing.
He thought they were going to end up like Bitcoin. It was going to be Bitcoin.
That's how he learned how to get the diamond hands, hodling the crowns.
It's true. Here's the deal. Skip said there's shots fired at Pete in the cash game recap. I do not see it up on ETR right now.
I can't wait for this.
Oh,
I live rent free in that guy's head.
Someone
log in,
send me the link. Why can't I see it?
Log in.
Why? Because ETR uses a WordPress site from 1994 and you can't navigate to anything.
Oh wait, here we go. What did this guy say?
I love how Levitan got that. He normally gets this out like in the morning, and he was so excited to go type it out.
I just Command F for Peter, and got nothing.
Try King.
Someone report back to me while
I can't find it either.
ETR optimal scored 209. I don't think that's true. I'm almost certain that is not true. Maybe if you applied ETR optimal was Dobbs, Bijan, Bucky, Jacoby Myers, Drake London. I don't remember the third wide receiver. Hendershot, Carter, Broncos.
Here it is.
That might have been 209.
Week 18 results. Unlike the alleged cash game king, I was able to profit by identifying this Darnell Mooney less spot against the lowly Panthers.
Shots
fired. Oh my God.
Wow, wrecked.
That was good.
Wow, Levitan didn't even play on FanDuel this week. Man, that's impressive.
Maybe he did, but he doesn't even have to talk about it because he roped that hard.
No, he has the full thing in the diary. Week 18, FanDuel did not play.
This team did not score 109 points, did it?
It might have.
Drake
and Jacoby.
Well, yeah, it might have. I mean, shout out to the ETR optimal. You know, Adam Silva's in there working really hard to make sure the projections are
Wait,
good.
no, Bills D. It would have had to be Broncos D.
Yeah,
it would have had to be Broncos D over Bills.
Yeah, Bills D, Hendershot.
Yeah. All right, Nate. Let's do.
All right, Nate. We buried it.
Answer to your crimes against Brock Bowers, buddy.
Well, it wasn't just Brock Bowers. It was also Trey McBride. Honestly, I'm ashamed of myself. I have no like excuses. I played soft. I wanted to continue my ways of paying up at tight end, finding a spot at running back or wide receiver to get some cheap expected production. And I found it in Miles Sanders. And at 11:15, I'm texting the group going, guys, I got it. It's Miles Sanders. And they ridiculed me into submission. I started questioning everything. I'm looking at my numbers going, why do I have 11? Why do I have 12? No, the team total is 20.5. They're not going to give Mike Boone this work. They don't want Raheem Blackshear. Why would they activate him? But I got into my head and said, I can't fade Bucky. I got to play Bucky. So I played Bucky. I played Hendershot. I should lose access to my DraftKings account. It's embarrassing. I'm ashamed. I have no excuse. I have no excuse. This is a bad. I did a bad thing. I mean, literally, Hendershot was 3 expected points.
Yeah.
Trey McBride was 20.9. I gave up 17 points of expected production to get Bucky Irving and his 11 expected points or 12 expected points when Miles Sanders legitimately was the best points adjusted expected points on the slate. What was I thinking? In week 18, I just lost.
Nate,
I lost my.
Yeah, it would have been great for the show. What I think is really great for the show is Nate's brand that he has been so strongly cultivating over weeks and weeks. All that hard work flushed down the drain. You didn't play the running back nobody wanted to play that we would have all roasted you for and been like, how did Miles Sanders score 24 DraftKings points? How does he keep getting away with it? And you would have played, Trey McBride or whatever, and just like completely dunked all over the haters. And you played Peyton Hendershot, Bucky Irving. I mean, man, I'm sorry, Nate, that mental weakness. Yeah.
This wasn't even the best version of this lineup. This wasn't even the best version of this lineup. I looked at the 4:00 lock and I ran and I'm like, why didn't I play Jacoby and Broncos D over Packers and Josh Downs? Like I gave up expected points there. I mean, this is the worst I played in cash. This is the worst I played in cash in probably 10 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is embarrassing.
It is. And Nate beat us again.
No, this is a good team.
Yeah, we're not going to let Nate do this. Like, I could have even played better, even though I played great shtick. I mean, get out of here.
No, yes. From an expected point standpoint, this is not a good lineup. I did not get. There were other lineups.
You don't get to know the expected points until the games play.
But that's what I've been saying all year. Is your job is to get as much expected production as possible, because that's going to lead towards consistently winning in cash games. And so when I failed to do that, I feel bad. It's like rolling out a lineup in tournaments and then you see ownership and it's like, oh, this didn't go my way.
Nate, what was your 2v2 on Hendershot defense to Hooper defense? Because it sounds like you were with me on the Hooper stuff. So why didn't you just make the adjustment?
Yeah, you could have played Broncos Hooper.
Jets Hooper.
It would have had to be Jets.
Yeah.
And I just like watching Zach Williams over the year, just like I wanted Packers D. I thought like watching Caleb get sacked and fumble, I was like, at least I'll have the Packers D. I played bad. This is a bad team.
Yeah. Nate plays awful, to his own admission.
I gave up 17 expected points at a tight end position to get to. I mean, it was just bad. This is not.
I did bad and think I played great, and Nate did good and thinks he played bad.
He beat us all again. He answered the age-old question: can he keep getting away with it? The answer, my friends, is a resounding yes.
How many points did Miles Sanders end up with, Nate?
More than Bucky, straight up
many.
and expected.
Like 24. He was in the optimal, like the perfect lineup or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Miles Sanders was like 5th on the week in expected production. He had 17 rushing attempts and 4 targets, and a lot of his work came near the end zone. He legitimately had all of the metrics pointed to him being a great play, and no one was playing him. It was very clear that this Miles Sanders thing was like, the team activated him before week 18 for no other reason than simply to raise his trade value. There is no reason to bring him in unless you're going to give him the workload. They also had a 20.5 expected team total. We saw Chuba's workload all year. We know that they like passing to the running back position. There was no reason to assume that he wasn't going to get a decent workload in this game. And he was 4K.
26.6 DraftKings points, which is 10 more than Bucky Irving for 4K. Nate, you were directionally correct.
Sims, bro.
Directionally correct. Just a little mentally weak.
Mentally weak. I shouldn't have even texted you guys. I should have just waited until lock and rolled out Miles Sanders.
If there's any listeners out there who kind of log every episode of this, I'd like to know if this is the first L that Nate's taken this season.
Nate taking an L when he wins the four, man. Just fucking intolerable, this guy.
Well, it's hard. When you win every week, it's really hard to find those spots to take.
For the audio, by the way, for the audio listeners, Nate scored 188.2. Whirling Dervish, that's me, 185.
No, it's fine. I think they get it.
Yeah, okay.
Cash Game King is at the bottom.
How many people were able to find you on DK, Nate?
Nate
Four.
got
I got four
$128
invites.
worth of action.
I got 4 invites this week. DraftKings,
So
please.
not to be a classist, I got a lot of invites, but mostly for $3 games, which I couldn't accept. So just for next year, guys, start at $10 and let's work our way up.
Davis,
Also, another 1 second. I need to address something. One of the guys in chat, Parker Colonia, I assume is how you say his name. It's spelled like baloney with a C. Not in the spirit of the game to be a good player and try and play me. That is not in the spirit of the game. I only want games from people who only play cash 1 week a year.
Yeah. Parker scooped one of my 109s too. I was like, are you serious? Like, I'm supposed to get soft action like Pete at 109s, and instead I'm playing BP.
Yeah, I'm not. So that I did not accept your game because that is not in the spirit of Cash Game Week.
Also, I'd like to point this out. I tried to accept some invites, and when I go in, it's this contest has already been filled. You need to refine your process. Davis,
when people were asking me how to send head-to-heads, and I actually went through and like wrote up the tutorial, I was like, this is way too many buttons.
It is too complex.
It is absurd. Like, you should be able to search a name, like a username, and then like press the button to challenge.
And it creates it. Yeah. You also should be able to create more than 50 at a time. You should be able to do it all in one. You should be able to create your 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 25 games all at once. You should be able to create more than 50. Why can you only play 50 at $1 level? Why are you rake limited at $5? That's insane. I mean, obviously the real answer is no one cares. You know, no one at DraftKings is like, we need to improve the infrastructure for cash games. Like, like no one
improve the pick six structure.
Yeah. All right.
It's so. I
game
mean,
week.
it's like it's so sad out there, guys. Like I mean, you guys talk about cash games for like half your show. I mean, the Establish the Show guys can barely even make it through the whole show without talking about GPPs every other segment. I mean, you want to talk about just an absolute dying game format. I mean, this thing's on fucking life support, fellas.
It's so funny because, you know, when we all started doing this, cash was all there was.
Yeah.
You just talked about cash. You just talked about the best plays for cash. And then now everyone knows how to press the optimize button on establishtheRun.com. And that's all there's left. That's all you have to do.
Apparently, I didn't know how to do that this week.
People were saying in Discord that you were going to IKB it on purpose, that you said on your show that you were IKBing it on purpose.
Well, I knew I was not playing Peyton Hendershot, and Hendershot was in the optimals the whole time. I'm like, I'm not running this optimal. I was not going to play him. I knew that.
Pete's right. I mean, the Hendershot thing, it's the same thing as Ferguson last week. I mean, we saw this projection and you knew that's a fragile projection that's at the upper end of his range of outcomes. There is no shot of him getting 20 points. There's just no upside at that position. You can't waste in cash games.
But he can get 12.
Yeah, he can get 12 at his ceiling, where these tight ends like McBride, like Bowers, have a ceiling of 30 plus. And it's just, I cannot believe I played him. Like, I just can't. It's an objectively bad play. Like, watching it play out, I was like,
well,
this is going
I have good news for you. Brock Bowers and Trey McBride are not in the postseason. So how are you going to play? How are you going to play postseason cash, bro? You're going to be playing Noah Gray and Charlie Collar before you know it.
Yeah, I don't know what
Zach Ertz, baby. Let's go.
Zach Ertz. Yeah. Well, there is one elite tight end in the postseason. He plays for the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. I think that's all I got.
I would like to. Yeah, I actually wanted to share one. Because I'm not going to do my portfolio review tomorrow, Davis. So if you could just pull this up here. So on Underdog,
it's going behind the paywall.
We had the double doink contest. It was 135 max, so you're able to get some good volume in. 4,500 entrants, so very big tournament. $5 entry. It was super smooth payout structure. First through 2,000. got $10, and it did fill. The contest did fill. I competed, and first place, 146.58 points. I've been alerted this would have won the bomb. I've been alerted this would have been top 20 in the big BR. None other than little old Peter Overzet here. First place, Kyler Murray to Trey McBride. That's accidental. That was my robots that accidentally dialed up that stack, along with Michael Carter, Bijan, Drake London, Jacoby Myers. Took down the double doink, fellas. Get my horns again.
That ROI.
Actually,
baby.
I just wanted on the record that I actually did do this. I actually did do this in BR. I had a Knicks Bijan London team. I just want that on the record.
How did BR go for you, Davis?
I drafted like 9 teams, like literally after my dog died, and 3 of them finished in the top 500 because they were all Knicks London. So shout out.
I won't make the joke about your dog should die more often.
All right. Yeah, this was a really good bit. So the DK Deposit Kingdom didn't fill, and 44 teams did not get.
They probably all played Hendershot.
They probably all played Hendershot. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate all of you. Until this time next year, probably be a week 19 next year. Honestly, I mean, the NFL is we're going to go to double buys. It's somehow going to be like February 2nd, and we're going to be doing, unless Peter, are you not committing to Cash Game Week?
I refuse to commit. I barely did it this year. This is just,
Pete, you have to. Pete, this is the best content you do all year.
It's literally, people love it, man. I think that you should really look in the mirror about trying to.
Levitan sent me a text and he said, if you fucking do this again, I'll send a henchman to your house.
You probably got Levitan an extra $750 in volume this week.
I'm putting food on Levitan's table, and he should learn to appreciate that, making his life's joy relevant for 1 week out of the year.
Cash games are so the limit hold'em of fantasy football, you know.
The fact that the big double ups this week were not even over 2,000 people is like, it's insane. I mean, it's insane how dry it is. Streets are tough.
So none of you guys had any good tournament scores?
I had one. I was I had in the 250 pocket passer. The 40K. I don't know, Davis, if you have that one.
I can pull the solver up, but I had one very good team, but it had Isaac Urendo on it in the spy.
Let me share this one to you.
Man, was he carted off in the first quarter?
Yeah, I think after like one drive.
Jeez. And Blake Corum broke his forearm?
Tough.
Did you see that?
You know.
Yeah.
And this is not relevant, but Pete, have you drafted a playoff best ball team yet?
None. Tomorrow.
We'll do it.
Tomorrow we get in the streets.
The Midden
Davis,
2 already
just
filled,
linked it in the private chat.
Oh, nice. I don't even have to pull it up. Oh, Nate, you did have a nice little
Nate. God, what a nice day for Nate. But he played bad. Oh my God. Look at this.
Oh, but he
lineup.
played so
my God. How do you not get up to Brock on this team?
That's what I'm saying. How do you not play Jordan Whittington, Brock Bowers?
Nate loves playing cash adjacent teams in tournaments, and it fucking works. But God, this is just like right.
It does. Little 5K score for Nate, no big deal.
It's literally it's literally the cash team with Penix instead of Dobbs, and then Michael Pittman Jr. instead of Brian Thomas Jr. That's all it is.
And then you look at it and you go, wait, nobody wanted the quarterback of the guy of the two players that are going to be the most owned in cash games. Like, we don't want the quarterback. Okay, I'll take that guy. Oh wait, nobody wants Jacoby Myers. Oh, okay, let's play that guy.
I can't believe you didn't play Kyle Pitts on this team, you coward.
We all spend all week trying to find these low-owned plays, and it's like they're right there. So I don't know. I thought this one was like obviously it's a cash adjacent team. It's a 4-entry max tournament. I had a single entry. It was a 250 smaller field. So you don't have to get off the cash team much when it comes to these type of teams. So I don't know. Felt good about the correlation. If anything, I should have brought it back with
Miles Sanders. Yeah, I can't believe you didn't do that. You could have taken this thing down, bro. I mean, come on. Come on, Nate. Jesus.
Tough scene.
Stay poor.
Do you guys, Nate and Sammy, do you guys want to do this next week?
We'll see.
Maybe. We'll have to see like if the
It is wild card weekend. Wild card weekend is pretty lit.
Wild card weekend's normally pretty good. I think we basically have just alternated on how we feel during the playoff week. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't.
Yeah, I think the first one we probably could. I think once we get like further into the playoffs, it's harder because and then it's like 2-game slates.
And then we do the Super Bowl, right? So
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We always have some of the worst props on the internet.
Except for the
except for the IDP.
Except for Sammy's IDP play of the year.
bang.
Finally, that after winning 7 consecutive years in a row, lost for last year's Super Bowl. But that's fine. We don't.
No. I think I won last year. It was the year before when I thought that middle linebacker for the Rams was going to do it.
That's right. That's right.
Is anyone sweating their cash teams on FanDuel after Gibbs just scored?
Pete, I could see that joke like germinating in your eyes over there. I was like,
you should have been
Pete's
saying the
got
whole
it.
time, guys. I played Drake London. I played Drake London. You don't know her. She goes to a different school, guys.
She goes-
Yeah, my good
Drake
teams are on
London.
FanDuel. Yeah.
Dude, I've got him. Dude, I've got Drake London in cash on the owner's box, which is actually a DFS site that is up and operating that I see when
I played him on
click
Yahoo.
I played him on Yahoo.
I'm honestly like Nate, or I'm like Davis with JSN and Jacoby with Drake London, because multiple times this year, Drake London was my highest drafted player in the BR, like multiple weeks when he's like mid-20s ADP, just slamming him. I was the guy in the meme from the party. They don't know about his Whopper in BR, and just disappoints. And then he finally shoves me in a locker in week 18. I deserve it.
And there's a lesson in that, but I'm not smart enough to know what it is. First, later. It's Short King summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks